sure low. It's a big grand.
So I said to them, sure, you can't drink gravy like that. Oh.
I mean, well, you're well known for your gravy drinking.
Oh, hey, guys.
Oh.
What's the crack?
Oh, shit, we've been talking about
doing
the gravy for the last 2 weeks.
Wow, that's insane. Turns out we forgot to record episodes.
It was mostly about gravy.
Yeah, we did a whole gravy thing. A gravy train.
Like gravy-themed movies. Really odd.
Gravy was actually really
We'll
good.
give you the list, but it's kind of wasted now.
Yeah. It was
bad taste in the mouth, like bad gravy.
it was a real good stuff, though. Some real groundbreaking film commentary centered on gravy. What's the story, though? This is Sure It'll Be Grand, and we're back. We're doing another episode. Apologies, we've been...
What's your name?
Misplaced. My name's Owen. Hi.
What's my name?
Dan. Right?
That's it.
Yeah, okay, we got it.
Yeah. Okay.
Apologies, we know we've been away for a while. Life, etc. Shit got in the way. We are so today might be, who knows? We're both very tired. It's been a long week. It's Monday.
I've been tired for like half our
It's
podcast.
Monday.
I can fake it.
Yeah, I just realized I said it's been a long week, and it's Monday as we are recording.
Yeah,
this.
it is. It's Monday. Yeah.
But look,
I mean, to be honest, I'm still like in waiting to go back to work land when it comes to the whole COVID thing. So I'm just like, I don't know what days are anymore. I don't know what months are. To be honest, months are just flying by.
I'm on day 7 of 11 at the minute or something stupid like that. So I'm just very tired. But it depends. This could be a longer episode because we're going to fucking cover a load of shit. We're going to hit 2 birds in one stone. Not really. We're going to talk a little bit about Dune off the top. And then in probably the most incredible display of dichotomy we've ever done on this program, we're going to talk about The Last Airbender.
I mean, I know it doesn't fit the theme, but I'd love us to do like a splitting hairs of Dune Last Airbender.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we could. No, I don't even want to think about comparing them. They just can't be compared. One is an incredible piece of cinematic achievement, and the other one is Dune.
Stop it!
Yeah,
Stop it!
Nailed it. Never gets old in my brain. Let's catch up. What's been going on? It's been like several weeks at this point. Surely there's been some news. Has there been any news? Do you know? Can you remember any news?
Any news? I mean, man, literally, like my brain is so not dazzled. What's the word for it when you're
frazzled?
D. Frazzled. It begins with D. Yeah, frazzled.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yes, famous D word.
Yeah, frazzled. That, to be honest, 9/11 could have happened a few times, and I wouldn't have been aware. I have personal news and stuff that I've done. That's about it.
Eternals is out.
Oh, it hasn't been getting a nice reaction.
It's the lowest rated, critic rated Marvel movie thus far.
Yeah.
Do I care? Not really. No. Am I going to see it? Yes.
I'd probably watch till it comes out on DVD, which I'm definitely
going to see it, but that doesn't mean it's not a stamp of approval for me to go and see a movie or anything. Yeah, it's out. I don't know. It's out. It's getting really bad reviews. But the audience score is pretty solid. So we'll see.
Some people then point out saying, "Well, they're fuck the critics," but like, you know what? Sometimes just fuck the people as well. Like sometimes people just have a bad taste.
Fucking on audiences are. Like, the latest Fast and the Furious movie has a very high audience approval rating. So it's whatever.
I'm sure
whatever
the
you're
Minions
into,
is
I don't care.
Well rated.
The what?
The Minions.
Probably, yeah. That's like $1 billion franchise. I think it's probably people do like.
It can't possibly be unpopular with the mass audience, can it?
No, probably not. Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron has been delayed.
Oh,
there you go. She's making something called Rogue Squadron. It's a Star Wars thing.
I know that. Yeah,
it's been delayed. There you go.
Pilots from the Rebel.
Yeah, it looks awful. I don't care for it, but it's been delayed. So positive news.
But didn't they basically say it's just like what's that? My God, I am frazzled. What's Tom Cruise?
Top Gun.
Top Gun.
Top Gun.
Top Gun, but with like Star Wars people.
No idea. That would be good, but it's probably not that.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't think it'll be as quite as homoerotic as Top Gun was for the Star Wars.
Which, to be fair, is a big element of Top Gun.
It's the main element of Top Gun. Let's be honest. We really, I'm still really annoyed that we didn't get to do back-to-back Top Gun because the second one got delayed. We should have been doing it now.
I'm not as annoyed.
Really? That's wild to me.
I don't really care for Top Gun all that much.
In a weird IMDb, well, it's the Hollywood Reporter, but a weird title. Gal Gadot and Linda Carter are joining the next Wonder Woman. They're already in them. That's not how you write that headline. Gal Gadot is Wonder Woman, and Linda Carter was in the last movie. They're not joining the franchise. They are the franchise. So thanks for that, Hollywood Reporter, for cheering me
a
on.
whole new reboot that has everyone the same characters coming back.
Yeah, maybe they're rebooting Wonder Woman with the same cast again. Wouldn't surprise me with DC, same director. It's like, fuck it, we're starting again. Yeah, so that was fun. All right, so yeah, news has been shit. Nobody cares. Dune came out though. Let's talk about Dune.
Dune came out. Yes.
I apologize in advance because I don't know. Even if I was at full speed, I don't think I have the words to properly tell you how impressed I was with Dune.
I definitely want us to do an episode on Dune at some stage as a proper dig into it.
Yeah, because we had planned on it. I know we said last time in our last episode that the next up was going to be Dune. Look, we didn't have time. We couldn't find the time to record, or we had planned on like covering David Lynch's Dune as part of that as well and going back and watching it.
Yeah,
things got in the way. I ended up seeing the new Dune before I went back and watched David Lynch's one, and after watching the new Dune, I found myself unable to watch David Lynch's Dune. I couldn't do it. I put it on, made it 20 minutes in, and I sat there going, I used to like this for what it was, and now it looks like, I know it was made in 1984, but it looks like to me it was made in 1942.
You know what's still the worst part about that movie for me? Patrick Stewart being like bald, but he grows his side hair.
He's got the
really
fucking
long.
Side hair, yeah, baby.
Yeah, boy, he's like no business in the front.
Yeah, it's just like Lynch's Dune. Obviously, people still do love it. It has a cult kind of following, whatever, and it's not. There's some things to like. Bad movie. There's some things to like about it. It's very like pulpy to me. It feels like Flash Gordon or something at times.
Yeah.
And the problems it had were problems that I think the new Dune knew it might encounter straight off the bat, and that's trying to fucking force everything into 2 hours. So straight away they were like, no, we're gonna split this up. We're gonna do it in 2 parts. Let's fucking go. And it's incredible. It's from top to bottom. It's absolutely breathtakingly good. I can't get over it.
Yeah,
I cannot get over it.
I agree. I hate. Like sometimes you don't want to say a sentence publicly because maybe somehow your opinion will change. But I remember texting Owen like that night or the night after he's watched it and went, I got a Lord of the Rings feeling. Not to say it's like the Lord of the Rings at all, but like in that magnitude of this is an experience that
you can say it, Dan. I am taking this as a personal victory, okay? Because I said, and we can go back and I'll find the tape. I said on this podcast a couple of months ago that Dune has the potential to do for sci-fi and for film what the Lord of the Rings did for fantasy at the time. It could be the same. Like, this is a landmark of holy shit. When did it all change? And I think it is. I think that's what it is. It's fucking wow.
Yeah, I think a lot of people who are against this are gonna very much soften towards it in a few more years, especially when we start seeing part 2. I think one of the main complaints I got from people and even family who said the major issue is that they didn't care about any of the characters. And personally, I don't see it as much. Don't get me wrong. If I start comparing to like Marvel movies where characters are really conflated, they're really big, and it's almost like, tick by tick. Oh yeah, I'm meant to care about this character and root for them. Then I guess Dune doesn't have those characters. But what Dune has is these people who work under the heavy pressure of social legacies, pushing them into situations and keeping them there. That's the big thing. It's the weight of their family histories and what's expected of them and what pushes them. You know, it's that. And that's what I think that's a really great sort of character forming. Like it's quite unique to what we normally get like in mainstream cinema. Because in mainstream cinema we usually like are basically told paint by numbers. This is the character you're meant to care about and support, and off you go. You know, saying that, even then, I don't think these characters are unlikable. Don't get me wrong; they're a little bit colder than other things we've seen them, but there's certainly like I hate to say it, or maybe I love to say it. I really like Jason Momoa in this. Like normally, I was like, he's not an actor; he's just a guy who acts like Jason Momoa.
I was very pleasantly happy, whatever, to see that there's like one joke in the whole of Dune.
Yeah.
Like there's one, and it's barely even like it's like Jason Momoa going, ha ha, whoa. It's not really even a funny haha thing. There's no slapstick. There's no really, it's not constant humor. Which that second trailer kind of worried about.
Spitting on the ground. Like
there's that.
But that's not even a joke though. That's more like a misunderstanding.
I think it was. There's. I remember even that scene I was watching was that. Did they intend for that to be like a hilarious, or was it just supposed to be really awkward? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But there's none of that in it. But I think that's why Jason Momoa works in it, because he's the one character who has a little bit of like. He's like having fun kind of thing. Not that the rest of them, like, it's not a lifeless movie in any sense, but it's not.
Like, I thought Josh Brolin was funny without telling any jokes.
Josh Brolin's line delivery in some of it is just the way he decided to say things. Sometimes it's just great.
Like, just, smile. I am smiling. like those are good moments. Like, and I love how he fought again, and he trained, with Paul, and like pushed him and tried to make a point that you have to be tougher. But there's obviously like love there as well, like care for this kid. Like everyone seems to be like looking after like the future king, so to speak.
You haven't met the Harkonnens. That's
also, I loved Oscar Isaac and Timothy Chalamet with each other. Like there was loads of really great father-son in this.
Rebecca Ferguson is great.
I want us to do an episode on this. I read Dave Bautista, really good. Like
he's I felt anger, like. He's good at what he has. I don't think he has. He's not in it too much in this one. He doesn't get a whole lot to do. Stellan Skarsgård as Baron Harkonnen is really good. Again, I think they go into the room. With the poisoning is that it's incredible. That's one of my favorite scenes. I think those few that we've mentioned, along with Zendaya's character, will have a lot more in part 2. To be honest, which I still think, I don't know. They like the whole thing that they've said that part 2 was like maybe wasn't going to happen. It was only going to happen if it made money or whatever. I don't think that's really fully true. I don't think a movie that big, I don't think you put Dune Part 1 on the opening title of, like, it's the first thing that comes up on the screen is Dune Part 1. I don't think you put that there if you're really worried, like big time worried that you're not going to get to make Part 2. That would seems like
interesting. Some people give an out about length, and I don't look.
Didn't feel it.
I'll first admit. Look, I am a person who watches long things. I am accustomed to it. It doesn't bother me. But I swear to God, when I got to the end of the movie, I could have said, "I can wait another 3 hours here. Watch the second part. If you have it, just pop it on."
I legit, there. This is.
Have no I'll watch this 2-parter. In one
easily.
Go.
I like, because it's like just under 3 hours, I think, and I genuinely knew the end was coming. Like having read the book, I knew I figured going in, I was like, okay, they're splitting this into 2 parts. There's a good point in the story that would make it easy to split. So I kind of had a feeling where the end point was going to be, and I knew it was coming up. And I was just like, it got to the end, and I was literally looked around, and I was like, no, there's another 3 hours, right? I will sit here until tomorrow and live in this until I explode.
Yeah.
I don't want this to end. I do not want to leave. I don't want Hans Zimmer's soundtrack to stop beating my heart out of my chest. I don't want to stop staring at Zendaya and Timothée Chalamet. I want to see them climb on the back of the fucking sandworm. I want to see the shit. I need it now. But we have to wait.
Yeah.
We have to wait another 2 years.
But, you know, I keep thinking like how that's not, like I always said, oh, that's not much fun. But there is fun. Even when there's like, oh, this is how you have to walk across the desert. You know, so that you don't get caught by the war. Like, that was fun. Like, his son trying to teach his mother how to walk weirdly across sand because he think it works.
Did you get... Some
know?
people are getting creepy vibes from Paul and his mother.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I think that's on those people, to be quite honest.
It's
mother and her son.
Thing. I have seen a few people now give out that the mother... is a bad mother because she lies to Paul a lot. And I'm like, she's part of a secret organization that's in control of massive areas of space. She has to lie.
Her order has spent the last 10,000 years actively cultivating bloodlines to create possibly Paul Atreides.
Yeah, like
she's got a lot riding on this young man.
Yeah.
As does
I'm not going to say much more because we'll definitely do an episode on this. I'm sorry, we are. But like even stuff like the sign language by the hand, the secret sign language the mother had. Oh, it's so good.
It's so good.
Also, it's gorgeous. Just utterly gorgeous throughout every single thing. Even just the desert is lovely, but like then the machinery that's in it or the different armies and how they look.
Yeah, I think that's
this is like
just
like a friend of mine said, like he's really surprised. Like a friend of mine's really surprised. He said they didn't expect a movie to be made in the mainstream like this because and this is not meant to be like a hipster mainstream. I love a lot of fucking mainstream movies. Kazi has a history of loving rom-coms on this podcast. This
Hell
is not
yeah, baby.
Snobby, but it's true. This is not a mainstream movie, but yet has been made for mainstream audiences. Has a mainstream audience budget.
Is it time to say Denis Villeneuve is the best director working today? Is it that time? Can we say it? Can we go there?
No, I mean, no, I don't think I have thought about this.
I think I can go there. I think I can say it. I think his last 5 or 6 movies in a row are Prisoners.
Yeah. I'm just having a look at his stuff.
Prisoners, Enemy, Sicario, Arrival, Blade Runner 2049.
I love
Dune.
Arrival.
Like,
yeah, I love Arrival. You weren't a big fan of Blade Runner.
You don't miss.
But you weren't mad about 2049.
Thought it was better than the first one.
Yeah, but you're
visually, because I think it's beautiful. But
it's gorgeous. But so the first one.
Man, don't miss.
Yeah, he does very great movies. Especially movies that are a bit out there as well.
Sicario's so good. Oh. Sicario should have won Best Picture.
I have to watch that.
It's so intense. It's incredible. Those 3 movies, you could nearly, actually looking at them now, you could probably split his filmography into 2 like trilogies. If you were selling them as like box sets, you'd divide them into the intense psychopathic trilogy of Prisoners, Enemy, and Sicario, and then the weird experimental sci-fi phase of Arrival, Blade Runner, and Dune.
You know, that's the sad part, though. Like, I just realized that kind of thing doesn't really exist because
no, not really. No, I wonder if like Netflix will start packaging things that way soon. Maybe they will. You never know.
Maybe they already have. If you like Google, if you go into Netflix and search like I don't know Peter Jackson, do you just get loads of Peter Jackson movies?
Yeah, the search result will show you movies directed by Peter Jackson, but it won't be. I mean, I don't know. Netflix's categories are weird. Some of them they have like really odd ones, but they don't show up. You have to like put. Some of their categories have like if you type in a code, like a sequence of numbers, a category will come up, like rom-coms from 1972 directed by, it's all this weird shit. But yeah, Netflix is a strange platform that just tries to force like Netflix originals on you all the time. That's an entirely different conversation. Yeah, so look, I said it earlier, I don't know, I've been thinking about Dune since I saw it, and I don't really know if Dune is so good. I'm afraid to talk about it because I don't think I'm qualified enough to do it true justice. It's just like,
man, we were never qualified for anything.
Yeah, but that's how much I like Dune. I don't care about this other shit. I'll talk about what a fucking...
No, we are. We're doing it. I don't care.
I'm talking about Citizen
I'm putting
Kane
my foot down. We are doing an episode. Yeah. Oh yeah, but like I remember like a friend of ours and you, because I watched like a day before, I think.
We watched it the same
something
night.
Like that.
We saw it the same night.
I definitely watched it before you.
You went to an earlier showing, but we watched it on. We both saw it release day.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember our friend Stuart then texted me and said, "Oh my God, we just watched Dune. Dan, please tell us you loved it." because I think we were all so gobsmacked that the idea of one of us not liking is like, oh my God, how are we going to continue from this?
I don't think we would have spoken afterwards. We would have had a big falling out if one of us didn't like Dune.
Yeah.
The main thing I would say to people that an issue that I have heard a lot of people bring up is that it's confusing, especially like the first 20 minutes or so. It doesn't there's no real big exposition-y type like info dump stuff. There's no opening crawl. There's not like this is the state of the universe, this is who this is what's happening. It throws you in and it bandies about phrases like fucking, you know, the names of planets and like spice mining and Ben Gesserit and all this shit. And it doesn't really ever tell you what those things are. And I think if you go in, if in the first 15 to 20 minutes you find that too much, you might be kind of out of the movie. Then you might have to kind of catch up to what's happening story wise. I think if you look at Dune and don't think this is captivating just visually, then maybe you need glasses.
My brother's girlfriend, she was talking about how she found it very confusing. She actually did the whole Simpsons meme where it was just like, "This is absolutely brilliant. I have no idea what's going on."
I think that's it for a lot of people. They're like, I'm pretty sure that was great, but
I mean, to be fair, I felt like that as well a bit. But here's the thing, right? So I saw some people complaining that they didn't even explain what the spice does, which is weird to me because there's literally a scene, and you said it doesn't do much info dump, but I think it does give all the information you need to be.
No, it does if you're
At one stage you talk about how how the spice is needed for faster than light travel, and they literally show a giant gate in space where people travel through to get into the solar system. Like that's how they travel, you know?
Yeah, that one I think is as far as I'm aware, the spice is not rocket fuel. It's used. It's used by navigators because of the mind bending things to help them find paths.
Yeah,
through
because
the
the whole
stars
idea of the Dune in general is that instead of relying on like AI, the big focus on making human brains more and more sophisticated by using drugs and by using surgeries and all this kind of stuff. That's why throughout the movie you see some people say, "Oh, how many armies do we need to defeat this?" And the person's eyes just goes white, and they just rattle off a whole huge amount of numbers and come back. Because that's the whole idea of Dune, is about making brains like more efficient computers.
Yeah, but no, to be fair, I think the spice is the one thing in the movie that they do explain. Like they tell you exactly what it's for. They tell you why people want it. They tell you what it means to both sides. That the spice is they explain the spice very much. So like it's not like they're like, yeah, there's this thing, spice. Who knows?
Still a little bit confused of why the Emperor like took out that army and put the other army in. Except he wanted that second army to fail, wasn't it? He wanted the house to collapse or something.
Yeah, he was in cahoots with the Harkonnens to destroy House
yeah.
Atreides, essentially. His reasoning, we don't know yet. That part is not. He does not. Both the Emperor and his daughter, who are characters in the books, don't appear in part 1 of Dune. They probably might in part 2. I think his daughter definitely will. I think.
What's it? Look, so I've only read the first half of the book so far. What's the deal with that spider creature at one stage? And she says, "Oh, the spider thing can't understand us. Go back to your room," or something, and it got us off.
Oh, she uses the voice on it?
Yeah. What is that thing?
It's a spider thing from space that eats brain. I don't know. I can't remember. I have no idea.
Cool.
I don't remember a spider thing in the book.
Anyway, we talked.
We did Dune. There you go. I told you this episode might run long, and now we must unfortunately move toward the other thing.
Avatar: The Last Airbender, live action movie.
Just The Last Airbender. It's not called Avatar.
Let's talk about
Straight off the bat, it's just called The Last Airbender. They took Avatar. They purposefully took Avatar out of the title because James Cameron's Avatar came out the year before, and they didn't want people to be confused. So just The Last Airbender, which is based on Avatar: The Last Airbender, who I think both me and Dan have said before in the podcast we're huge fans of, the TV show and any sort of related media and sequels and stuff. So okay, right, let's... The Last Airbender is directed by... It was released in 2010. Interestingly, we were doing our Leaving Cert in 2010. Do you remember this coming out? Because I don't think I vaguely remember hearing in school that they were making a movie of it, but I don't remember like releasing or like I don't remember seeing it in school.
Honestly, man, you know what I remember most? I just remember a lot of blue tinted scenes from the movie.
Or like I remember it was a constant feature of like DVD shelf like special offers in HMV for like 5 years afterwards.
I will say I hadn't watched
€2.
Avatar at that stage. Like I've watched a few bits and pieces on TV.
Okay.
I only started watching Avatar properly like 5 years later. Maybe I watched it all in one go. That's
fair. Okay. Yeah. See, I watched the cartoon when it was on TV. For the most part, I think because it was on Nickelodeon and I was kind of in and out for a while, but like loved it. And then one of my first purchases as an adult was the DVD box set of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I bought all 3 books in a fancy case and everything.
The movie covers book 1 as well, by the way.
The movie, essentially covers book 1. It's directed by M. Night Shyamalan, who we know from a bunch of shit, Signs, The Sixth Sense, The Village, more recently Split, and less recently Unbreakable, and then more recently again the sequel to those 2 movies, Glass or whatever the fuck it was called. A lot of movies. He had like Signs and The Sixth Sense, everybody adored like early in his career, and it was like, holy shit, this man's the best director ever. And then he made this, and his career went to shit. And more recently, he's kind of pulled it back a little bit because people thought Split was very good. He directed this. It stars Noah Ringer as Ong,
who retired from acting straight after.
No, he's been in like one other thing, I think. Nicola Peltz as Katara, Jackson Rathbone as Sokka, Dev Patel as Prince Zuko, Sean Toob as Uncle Iroh, Asif Mandvi as Commander Zhao, Cliff Curtis as Firelord Ozai. So, I mean, there's others. Seychelles Gabriel as Princess Yue. I've intentionally used the movie pronunciations of those characters' names and not the show's actual pronunciations because it makes me less mad. Oddly
enough, Iroh was probably also the better character in this movie.
It's hard to fuck up that. It's hard to make a mess of Iroh in general. But this, so The Last Airbender, just very, very quickly had like a production budget of $150 million coupled with a marketing budget of $130 million. I think it made about 400 odd million worldwide. So it made a little bit of money, but not a lot. And most of that was just like, oh my God, they made a movie of Avatar. Let's fucking go. This was like before. It was kind of the same era as like Dragon Ball Evolution and stuff, where they were like trying to adapt things and it just didn't.
Oh, that's a question. Which one's worse?
Like Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, that adaptation came out around this time as well. It was like,
which one's worse?
Dragon Ball Evolution or this?
Yeah.
I think this.
Dragon Ball Evolution.
I think this is worse.
I think Dragon Ball Evolution's worse.
I don't know.
Dragon Ball Evolution doesn't even try.
Dragon Ball Evolution is so divorced from Dragon Ball that I can almost look at it as its own, like, that this is just a really crappy Z-list shit movie. But yes, so those are the basics, all right? That's The Last Airbender. Let's talk about it a little bit. Let's do what the hell is going on.
Top of the morning.
Tell me what the hell is going on?
Thanks, Dame Judi Dench, for popping in again. Oh God, The Last Airbender. Yeah, I mean, so yeah, like we said, this came out in 2010, and I think it was definitely during a time when studios were, I think it was the height of like Harry Potterness, and definitely studios were looking for the next Harry Potter. So you had like, they tried Dragon Ball, they tried Percy Jackson, they tried Eragon, came out around this time, they had, and then The Last Airbender. So they were trying to find, every studio wanted their Harry Potter. They were like, find a thing that children adore and turn it into a big movie. And M. Night Shyamalan was probably direct flavor of those couple of years. He was like a big name director, but he wasn't like so well established that they couldn't get him to do it, kind of thing. He had never seen the show.
Oh, wow.
Until I think he had seen it, but like I don't know. It's a weird story. Some sources I think say he hadn't seen it until he started making the movies. Others, he's on record as saying he loved it. He was his daughter.
He watched it with his kids.
Yeah, like his daughter. He started watching it because his daughter wanted to dress as Katara for Halloween, and he was like, "What the fuck are you talking about? What's Katara?" So he watched the show, so he knew what she was talking about and loved it. And he like. It was like a passion project for him, and he wanted to make it for his kids, and he wanted to do it justice, and blah 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 blah. All things that if he really felt he failed miserably at.
The odd thing is though, like the creators were backing him as well.
Yeah, so this is the Michael Dante DiMartino and Brian Konietzko, the original creators and showrunners, etc., of Avatar: The Last Airbender. They initially, I think their quote, if you'll allow me to read it, basically they said in interviews a couple of years after the movie came out that initially Nickelodeon were like, yo, we're turning this into a film. And they went, no, don't do that. We don't want that to happen. They were against it. And then Nickelodeon were like, nah, we're making it. It's happening. And they were like, okay, well, if it's definitely happening, let us do it. We will make it for you because it's our thing. Let us make the movie. And then they were like, nah, we're going to let M. Night Shyamalan do it. And they kind of went, well, it's happening. We might as well try and make it decent. And apparently, according to them, they spent like a long time in pre-production sending notes back and forward and like looking at concepts and telling the director and the team, like, this is dumb. That's not how you say that. You should change this. You shouldn't put this in the movie. You need to take that out. That's stupid. Why does he look like that? This not how this, a lot of shit like that. And they were completely ignored.
Is he white?
Yeah, basically they were like, they spent a long time going, what is happening over there? Why are you doing this? And they were just ignored completely. So they just went, all right, fuck, no, I guess not. And they've kind of just washed their hands of it, as have most of anybody who was in it, to be quite honest. Dev Patel, who everybody knows now, is Dev Patel is like a name, all right? At this time, this was, I think this came out just after Slumdog Millionaire, which was the movie that kind of like broke Dev Patel or whatever. So he had to audition for this, and he was second choice to play Prince Zuko. Somebody else got cast, and then he couldn't do it, so they got Dev Patel in. He has gone on afterwards to say that like watching himself in this doesn't feel real. Like he's been like, I went from like doing like, he says now that he doesn't like to do movies with like big massive blockbuster budgets because of his experience on The Last Airbender, because he hated every second of it. He like hates seeing himself in it. He said it doesn't look real. He said, I can't believe that exists, that I acted like that kind of thing. And he like actually tried as well as the thing. There's stories that Dev Patel like watched the show multiple times, both before and during filming. Like every time there was a break in filming, he would rush off and like throw on an episode so he could get Zuko right. And then it just didn't. They just were like, nah, don't do it. No, just do some other thing. So yeah, everybody who's in it is like, nah, this is terrible. I can't believe this happened. But M. Night Shyamalan came out like after he finished it and quotedly said, "This is the best movie I've ever made." So, good job, I guess, Mr. M. Night Shyamalan.
Good man. Fair play to you.
Yeah, well done, my guy. Fair play to you. It's so the gist of it, I suppose.
Yeah, I've got a question because I've never seen her anything else. Is Nicola Peltz a good actress?
No.
Okay, good.
Do you know what she's in? Do you know what the other thing she's in is?
Go on.
The first Transformers.
Oh, she is.
Not the first Transformers, the first one with your man in it.
Bumblebee?
No. The actor that replaced Shia
Wahlberg.
LaBeouf. Mark Wahlberg, yes. The first Mark Wahlberg Transformer, she plays his daughter, which is famous in my scene. In my head, that's the Transformers movie that has the guy pull out a card out of his wallet and explain to Mark Wahlberg why it's not illegal for him to have sex with his underage daughter. She's the underage daughter.
Oh yes, was it the Romeo and
the
Juliet
Romeo and Juliet Act clause or whatever? Yeah, she's the daughter, I think, in that movie.
Oh God.
So, no, I don't think. I think the answer to that is no. She's not a good actress.
Yeah,
she's definitely not in this anyway. She's terrible.
No.
Nobody's good in this.
I mean,
it's so weird.
Yeah, I mean, no. Look, I think. Okay, so I didn't hate Sean Tobe as Uncle Iroh. Didn't hate him. It wasn't a bad performance. It just wasn't Iroh. Okay, and I quite liked Commander Zhao. That's it.
I don't know.
Silence,
I didn't quite like Iroh. I was like, nah, I'm just not feeling it with this guy. There's something not. It's just like new. Zhao was fine, I guess. Yeah, because Commander Zhao is not like, he's that kind of fucking idiot who thinks he's incredible in the show anyway. So it wasn't that far of a departure from what's in the movie. But the whole thing, even if it's a scene and it's
Fire Lord Bullseye. Don't know what this story was like. They introduced him walking down a hallway. It's like, oh, dude, how are you? Oh, yeah, I'm glad. That's basically how they introduced him. It's like, what the hell? He used to walk down the fucking hallway.
He didn't seem like a bad guy. He was just chilling. It's like, oh, yeah, there he is, the Fire Lord.
He was constantly asking about his son. It's like,
yeah, that was the thing. He was. You get the impression in the movie that Ozai has like, he sent Zuko on this quest to like help him, to make him a man, to prove himself and like make him worthy. And no, he's a fucking, he like disfigures and banishes him in the show and like constantly treats him like shit. It's like, where did you get this from in the source material? M. Night Shyamalan. Oh God, we talked about it briefly beforehand. But God, everything is bad in this. Like $150 million budget, and it looks like shit. Like it looks.
Can we talk about the white elephant in the room?
You mean Appa? We can, yeah.
No,
go
I
for
don't mean Appa. I mean three main characters.
Yeah, they're very white.
Very white. Not even like, you know, there could be something else mixed into there. It's just very white people.
Yeah, and it was a big. The there was a big controversy around about that when the movie was released, and lots of different groups boycotted the movie and protested against it and said it's ridiculous. I think M. Night Shyamalan, it's odd to me because M. Night Shyamalan is of Indian descent. I could be, I mean, he's not specifically Indian, but that region of the world. And he was like, yeah.
One of the greatest sections of all of humanity. Just like that region.
Yeah, we're the bad guys. It's just so bad.
Yeah. The subcontinent of India.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's I wish I didn't, but I do. Okay. Like, I watched the movie again today, and like I don't like drumming the beat of like bad casting and racial issues and that kind of stuff. But it's really hard to get past it because like the TV show did such a big thing really by making sure that there's basically like very few white people in Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's especially for something that's made in the West. It's kind of refreshing to see that. So when they made this movie and they kind of threw that aside, it's odd because even like we was talking about like obviously, you know, it's still a lot of the background cast is Asian, but like I was saying, like the Southern Water Tribe, like you know, Sokka, Katara, and their grandmother are all white people. Like, and they're the main characters of this village. You don't really get to see many of the background characters, but the background characters are a weird mixed match of Native American people, and like one or two white people. So like there is still like appropriate casting going on, except for like main characters and talking roles where they chose to do white people instead.
Yeah,
you know,
they chose that.
Even with like Master Paku, but like even Master Paku. Like in the Northern Water Tribe, like the teacher, like they just ran. It just looked so out of place. Just like this random white dude with curly hair teaching them. And if you like watch
nice
the cartoon, that's not like like.
No, I'm trying to think here. Are there any? Are there white? Is there a white person in the cartoon?
I think when we go to the Earth Nation, I think some people are white.
Maybe. I don't know. Is Master Piando? Kinda?
I guess.
I don't know. We're getting
You know,
the whole thing is just incredibly bad decision after incredibly worse decision. It makes no sense. Any of the choices that they made in making this, in putting it together, make no sense. And part of it is odd. It's only like an hour and a half long as well. And apparently the initial script.
You know what I hate in it? Choreography. Like fighting choreography.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's so slow and tedious.
Yeah, because it was like completely like the only way they could animate in the bending was to make it that way. They had to add the bending obviously it was added afterwards. They didn't really bend elements, but ILM did it afterwards, and it was the only way they could make it work. They had to block everything out like slowly and methodically and like purposefully to have to make the fire look like that. It's just I don't know.
I mean, look, this movie has kind of been torn apart by many people. I'm not sure if we thought we'd discover about this movie that hasn't been spoken a lot. Honestly, just as a fan, it was really sad watching the movie again. And honestly, I think it's just cursed with the whole idea of having live action now with this movie. Like, I'm not looking forward to the live action TV show, which is across the horizon now.
I was because the original creators were making it, and now they have left because of creative differences or whatever, which is sounds to me almost exactly what happened with this one. Sounds like it's going to be the same shit again, that they're not happy with it. Now, some of the cast casting for the new Netflix thing, it's hard to tell really whether or not they'll be good. They're kids, like, so at least the best I can say is the casting is they've aged them correctly. They are children. So that's already a plus that on this movie, to be honest. Noah Ringer, who plays the main character in this movie, had never acted before in his life.
Yeah. And he didn't do it in this movie either.
No, he didn't. He got the part. He was just like, he did martial arts, and his classmates were like, hey, you kind of look like Aang. You should audition. And his like jiu-jitsu instructor recorded him doing martial arts with Aang's tattoo painted on his forehead, sent it to Nickelodeon, and Nickelodeon went, he's the guy. There he is. There's the kid. And they like made him go to acting lessons beforehand and stuff, and it didn't pay off. He doesn't. I mean, he sort of vaguely looks like Aang, I guess, because he's bald and he's really small. But like, it's not. It's so you don't like the tattoos.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they make more sense, I guess, in that kind of world.
Yeah, like they're the one thing in this movie that I'm like, I don't necessarily like them, but I look at what they did with the airbending tattoos, and I'm kind of like, I don't think it necessarily works, but I can see what they were doing. I get like that's I'd one like thing.
If they actually just did the blue stripe thing in live action, it might look a bit dumb.
Yeah, probably would. I mean, this doesn't look great either, but it's at least a choice that I can understand why they decided to go a different direction to the cartoon. Like most of the rest of it, I don't get. Well, that's what I was saying. Yeah. So the script, the first draft of the script for this was the movie would have been 7.5 hours long, because they had literally every single episode of the first book of the TV show. Everything was in it. Every single bit of it was in the script, and they handed it to M. Night Shyamalan, and they said, make this into a movie, like a single movie. And he apparently has this thing where he thinks that all movies should be 90 minutes long, and that's it. That's the runtime for a movie. They don't get longer, they don't get shorter, whatever. They're 90 minutes. So he just fucking ripped it to shit. And at all of the scenes of like Katara talking over the movie, telling you what's been happening, and like they do time skips, and they're like, Sokka and Princess Yue are in a relationship now, and it's just like all of that was done afterwards because they cut so much shit out that the movie didn't fucking make sense anymore.
Honestly, you know what it felt like? It felt like a catch up at the beginning of an episode that was just very long.
Yeah, basically, yeah, they were just like, yeah, okay, we've cut 7.5 hours into an hour and a half, and it doesn't really make sense now. We've cut way too much out.
You know what I like? It was like, Aang is having trouble bending water, and then they just go to having no trouble.
Yeah, that's the thing as well. There's like a disconnect between what Katara is saying and what's happening. And fucking Aang didn't have trouble bending water.
Yeah,
you idiots. Katara did at the start. She was super jealous that Aang was really good at it. And he was like, "Yo, I'm master."
There was also some mythos they added, which made less sense. Because didn't they find like Aang's like previous self statues in the air temple?
In the northern air temple. So first of all, the southern air temple is just in a desert or something. It's just in a little forest. It's not in a mountain. It's just it's just a little temple in a forest. And then the northern air temple is basically the fire sage temple that they visit. They kind of like mix them together, and there's just some random old guy there who's like, "Oh, you're the Avatar. Wow," and whatever. It's like, look, that's your past self. There's Roku, and Aang has a moment. There was actually no. Do you know what? There's one more thing. There's one more thing that they changed that I'm kind of okay with, and that's the final fight in the Southern Water tribe, the capital or the northern. Whatever. One of them.
Didn't care for the giant.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't know. I don't care for the giant glowy monster at the end of the first book. I don't care for it. I'm kind of okay.
If you love that, let me tell you about Korra season 2.
I'm okay with the fact that the movie is just like, what if he just enters the Avatar state and is really good at it? Like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So that was fine. There's a positive for the movie. Oh God, do you know we have to pick Jay's moment next?
Oh God. Okay. Right.
All right.
Let me think.
Here we go. Jesus moment. You're not allowed to say the whole thing. Let's go.
Did you know Sokka used to be comedic?
What?
Did you know?
Sokka, maybe. Yeah, not Soka.
Sokka, no. Who the fuck is Sokka?
The actor who plays Jackson Rathbone, who plays Sokka in this, originally auditioned to play Zuko. And then they were like,
no,
whatever.
thanks for that either. I'm grand with Val.
I'm grand with either.
I'm
He's terrible. He
you
won.
come up with your moment first because I can't think of an idea.
They gave the Razzie that. By the way, this movie won 5 Razzies that year. It was nominated for joint most nominations that year with the Twilight Saga Eclipse. Won like 5 of them. Won like worst picture and worst everything. They gave Jackson Rathbone worst actor because he was in both Twilight and Avatar: The Last Airbender that year. So they were like, have it for both. And they did an honorary worst use of 3D. They made up an award to give it to Avatar. Because they forced this movie into being a 3D release, which was also a thing at the time because of the other Avatar, James Cameron's one.
I'll tell you what is a Jesus moment. You know how when they travel like across the world to go to these different villages, and they say, "Oh, we can get to this other tribe by flying with Appa, and on the way we can go to all these villages." I guarantee you that was all the same village prop, and they just filmed it from different angles.
Yeah,
because that's what it felt like.
Probably, yeah. There's a whole bunch of like weird shit that they changed that doesn't make sense. The biggest one, I think, is the Fire Nation prison. So in the show, the Fire Nation prison where they're holding all the Earthbenders is a giant metal raft in the middle of the ocean. Yeah, it's a prison made to hold Earthbenders because they can't put them anywhere else. Because at this point, Toph hadn't discovered how to metal bend. Makes sense. Stick them in a big tin can in the ocean. They can't do anything. In the movie, they're on land. They're just standing.
And you know the best part
on the ground.
Aang even gives out to them, "You're Earthbenders. The ground underneath your feet is part of you."
Yeah,
it's like he makes a good point. What the fuck?
Yeah. Maybe you should listen to him. And then we see that it takes like 7 of them to lift a pebble. And you're like, oh, well, maybe...
Well, it only takes one of them to lift a giant wall of stone.
Well, maybe the real Earthbenders are on a raft in the ocean. These guys are just fucking the dregs that are left that pose no threat.
You know what? I get it, though. I know this was part of the like cartoon as well, but when Aang gets tested by Iroh and, like, you know, the fire burns brighter and the water turns into a circle... I'm going to be honest with you. The stone one got me a bit because it just turns onto its sides and points up. And I just feel like, if Aang just stands around places, do all the stones just like turn up and point upwards wherever he walks?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm just going to say yes. I don't know. I tell you, Jesus' moment for me was learning that one certain Mr. Zac Efron auditioned for the part of Sokka and was offered the part. And couldn't do it because he was scheduling conflicts. He couldn't find time to shoot. So Zac Efron was almost Sokka.
Oh, God.
Think he would have done a better job than Mr. Rathbone.
I mean, there was no room to do a good job. Even if you were a good actor, there wasn't anything you could do. Because you were flying so much across plot.
Yeah.
Suki
was in this.
Straight down...
Suki, they cast an actress to play Suki, and she was in the movie, and they cut her out of it because M. Night Shyamalan said having the Suki and Sokka thing takes away the importance of Aang's story, and people will focus on that too much. Apparently, that's what he thought. So they cut Suki out of it. There's like two stills floating around the internet of the Kyoshi warriors. Guess what? They don't wear makeup.
You mean the main aspect?
Yeah, you mean I mean the most predominant feature of the Kyoshi warriors. They don't do that. They just have like green geisha dresses on, and they're
I
just
just like
chilling.
to imagine when the old man just describes the statue to Aang, says, "Oh, this is your previous 2 lifetimes ago incarnation. She didn't wear makeup."
As you can tell from this really lifelike statue, she's not wearing makeup. Okay, shut the fuck up.
Oh, I still don't wear makeup.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird shit like that. Fuck me. I don't know. Do you want to do final thoughts? Do you want to wrap this up? Do you want to see if we can come up with anything to say? All right, let's go.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Frodo. It's over now.
It's over now, Dan.
Thank
it's
God for that,
over
Sam.
now. Yeah, thanks. Thank you, Sam. I appreciate
you know
it.
what, man? We should just skip fucking Airbender. Just continue talking about Dune for a while. I think we had fucking energy and now.
Look. I still have energy. I like talking about bad shit. The thing about The Last Airbender for me is that up until attempting, I'm saying attempting because I did try to watch it again this time, and what ended up happening was I watched like the first 20 minutes and then I kind of like skipped through a lot of it. Just kind of jumped through the movies and just skip ahead and go, what's happening in the scene? Oh, this is so fucking stupid. This is terrible. And I skip again and go, wait, what? This is so... This
okay.
is, and then I
If
watched
we're all
bits and
telling
pieces
truth
of it.
here, I did watch like the first half, and then I think I went for a nap for about half an hour while playing it, and then woke up and watched the end of the movie.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, that's you know, it's not hard. I think I had convinced myself. I think the course of the last 11 years since this came out and since I saw it, I had managed to convince myself that it wasn't that bad. Like I had in my brain had turned it into one of those so bad it's fun to watch kind of movies, and it is not that. It is not that at all. It's
Do you know what I call this movie? Deflating. It just deflates you. It's just like God.
Yeah, it's just so hard to watch. It's the most expensive movie Nickelodeon have ever made. Now, granted,
Well,
the other movies they've made are like the Rugrats movie, and you know, the Hey Arnold movie, and 3 SpongeBob movies, that kind of stuff. It's not like it's not like they've got a string of hits.
Of those SpongeBob movies is really good.
I haven't seen. I'm not a
I like the
SpongeBob,
first SpongeBob
kind of
movie.
fan.
Not me neither, but the first movie's good.
They spent a shit ton of money on this thing. I'm surprised. I feel like this movie, and it was going to be a trilogy, bro. They had mapped out. They had mapped out a trilogy. M. Night Shyamalan had planned doing like movie 2, book 2, movie 3, book 3. That's why Azula turns up at the end, which I had totally forgotten.
She shows up near to the beginning as well when we have a flashback for the Ajikai or whatever it's called.
I
She's there smiling when her brother gets mutilated.
Yeah, that's nail on the head, Azula. I had completely erased that from my brain. I had no memory of what Azula looked like in this movie. I forgot she was even in it. And then there she was, and I was like, "Oh, wow!" They even like ended this with a "there's gonna be another one" kind of thing. Like,
oh, here's a weird one. They changed the rules on firebending. They made a point that you can only firebend if you have a source of fire near you. Like, the only person who can do you can do it when the comet is there, and Iroh, who's just
because he's the Dragon of the West. Or whatever. Yeah, I had forgotten about that big scene where he starts spewing fire out of his arms, and all the other firebenders are like, "He's making his own fire," and run away screaming like they can't just.
And I was like, "What?"
He's like,
you could all do.
That's
what?
not a rule. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
you just need to drink more tea.
Do you think Shyamalan just watched the first episode where it showed them fight using the torches on the boat, and went, "Oh, that's how firebending works." Okay, cool.
Yeah, I definitely don't think he watched M. Night Shyamalan watched the whole thing. I honestly think he had seen a bit of it, so he knew for his daughter, and then they handed him a 7.5 hour long script, and he kind of read through it and went, "This is nonsense." Just fucking...
You know the worst thing is we didn't even see Katara fucking hand his ass in, like at the end.
No, Katara in this, they very much like went for the
Damsel in
the
distress.
like
without
the
being
like
distressed.
whiny kind of emotional aspect of Katara, and forgot the
Yeah.
part where she's fucking amazing. Like
Yeah, like Katara's Katara
Yeah.
might actually be one of my
they
it's
just
one of my favorite
yeah.
characters.
They just left out the whole part where she's like a generationally talented waterbender and a really powerful character, and they were like, nah, she just whines and she can't do much, and people have to save her, and her brother's 29, and that kind of.
Isn't like in the cartoon when like Aang gets like kidnapped, and she just goes like, Sokka, we need to help him, and he's like, no. It's like, well, I'll go myself, and she just leaves. Then Sokka follows her. Whereas in this movie, she's just like in tears. Come on, what we have to save him. He's our responsibility. That's not what she is. She's fucking badass.
She is that, but she's also badass.
But yeah, but she's not like, she doesn't.
No, I'm kidding. I mean, it's a joke in the show that she's like. Yeah. Oh God, I don't know.
Play.
I mean, I guess to wrap up, to summate this episode, Dune good, The Last Airbender bad.
Question. Just before we go on, here's the thing. Remember that theater thing they had as a catch up in season 3
Yes.
in the Fire Nation?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a better telling of Avatar than the movie was.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
It's more accurate.
Yeah. The Ember Island players did a much better job of bastardizing the story of Avatar Aang than The Last Airbender did. Oh Jesus! Yeah,
Anyway,
doing
movie
good.
No, it's bad. Don't rewatch it. Don't bother.
No, don't bother. Just watch the cartoon.
Yeah, like watch that
Simple.
cartoon and budget. Watch this for 7 hours.
Just repeatedly watch the cartoon like I do. You'll be fine.
Yeah,
just like once a year, just go. Yeah, I'm gonna watch all of Avatar right now. Might do it. I think I'm due. Might do it again.
Yeah,
it's coming up.
I'm just finished recently.
We watched Korra again recently. Yeah.
I watched Avatar before that.
Yeah. So Dune really good. The Last Airbender really bad.
Yeah.
Opposite ends of the spectrum this week. A roller coaster for
There's someone
listeners
to this who feels opposite.
There's probably one person out there, and I
Yeah.
think their name is Adolf Hitler.
Not to be mistaken for Adolf Hitler, the genocidal maniac.
No. Your man. He lives down the road there.
He keeps sending us messages on Facebook. Very annoying.
They're very strange messages. I saw a final point before we wrap it up. I was doing research for this episode yesterday, and when I googled Dune, the top news story was something about how Dune is the title of the article. I couldn't read it because they were like, "Oh, I see you have ad blocker on. You better turn that off." And I was like, "No, I don't know what this website is." But the title of the article was Dune may be fascist, but the right wing love it.
Do they?
I don't know. Apparently. I don't know.
Hold on. I want to get an article.
Try and make that make sense in your head.
I tried.
Even though it's fascist. Oh, God. Good stuff.
I need to find something. I think it's in here. Headline by the Financial Times. Stop intellectualizing pop culture. The response to Dune shows an overeducated society reading profoundly into mere entertainment. Mainstream things shouldn't be sophisticated and interesting. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Fuck Dune.
Yeah, I agree. You know what? I've changed my whole opinion based on that one headline article, as is the right of my generation. Okay? I don't need no Twitter. I don't want to read the article before I quote tweet angrily about it, all right? Stop asking me that question. Leave me alone. It's my right to be impassioned about a headline, okay? Fucking... No, I'm joking. That article is dumb. It's very dumb. Hey, what are we doing next?
I don't know. What are we doing next?
Oh, you don't know? Oh, I thought you'd be
No,
excited. We're doing Star Trek, Dan.
Star Trek!
Yeah.
Which means we have to watch 5 episodes in the next week and a movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump off a building. No, yeah, we're doing Star Trek First Contact, and Dan has put together a list of essential episodes of Star Trek I should watch before I watch First Contact. So I'm gonna watch like just those. What, 5? Is it 5 episodes?
4 or 5.
4 or 5.
It's probably 5.
I'm just gonna watch those 4 or 5 without any other. Like, I'm not gonna like start with those 5 and then branch up. Just gonna watch 5 episodes and then watch the movie and see how we get on. My first non-Abrams Star Trek movie. My first real Star Trek, I guess, aside from like a few episodes of the first season of the Patrick Stewart one. So yeah, that should be fun. That will be in 2 weeks' time, hopefully. I'm after our recent upload schedule. I feel like I don't want to put an actual date on when we're going to release an episode.
Oh no, we'll be back in 2 weeks.
We'll be back in 2 weeks after I've seen Star Wars. Until then, it's been fun. Star Trek. Sorry, Jesus. We're back in 2 weeks, and
we both need to go to sleep.
We're back in 2 weeks. We're going to turn up. Dan will have watched Star Trek, and I will have accidentally watched Star Wars. We're just going to talk about it. The 8-year-old nerd argument: Wars versus Trek.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's been fun. It's good. I'm glad to be back. Glad we got another episode sorted. We look forward to hearing from you all. What did you all think of Dune? Did you like it? Did you find it confusing? Do you think it's too smart?
Yes.
What did you think of The Last Airbender?
Yeah, what do you think of The Last Airbender?
Did you like it? Did you find it confusing?
Look,
do you think it's too dumb?
2 paths in the woods. We as a society go down the Dune one or we go down the Avatar one.
There are 2 wolves inside each of us. One is Dune, the other is The Last Airbender. You must never feed The Last Airbender. Okay. Thank you, as always, for listening. We'll pop this episode up on the usual channels across Facebook and YouTube and Spotify and all the rest. We appreciate if you could share, send us to a friend, be like, yo, check out these idiots, and get people to listen to us. We have a supporter feature. If anyone wants to support the podcast, they can do so. It will be linked.
The Adobe prices have gone up, so that'll be very much appreciated.
Yes, it will be linked under the episode, as always. And we love you all, and we will see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Asherlo. It's a big rent.